Dear Virgos, Virgo risings, welcome. We are together for the week of July 6th. This week, people are busy with things related to you. They have futures, goals, and plans. Even if they seem to be busy with these, there is actually an effect at a very deep level in the background. There is a deep confrontation. There is a deep analysis. You yourself don't exactly live on the surface easily. An event happens. Everyone sees that moment. But you see the shortcomings behind that event, the things unspoken in, and what is left behind much more clearly. And this week, your analytical power will be at work. Your analytical power will work, but this week it is working for yourself rather than for someone else. For one thing, issues such as shared finances, earnings, alimony, loans, allowances, spouse's money or family money, or support from someone may come to the fore a bit more. A payment, for example, may come onto the agenda. It could be a payment you had previously postponed. A financial matter might be discussed again, but I'm talking about something that will occupy your mind. Some of you may think, why do I have to carry this burden alone? Because this week, the money issue is not just about the numbers. It also triggers a sense of trust. Is there really no one in this life that I can trust? Is there no one I can lean on? You may question who you trust. It could be a partnership, a relationship, or an elder in the family. Are the distributions fair? Is all the responsibility really on your shoulders? Or has everyone taken equal responsibility? No one notices you, but deep down, have you been the one constantly tidying things up? You may question all of these. This week, this feeling will be working a little stronger within you, especially if there are Virgos here who have been treated unfairly. Your mind may dwell on this quite a lot. You might be in search of a solution regarding a financial issue. For example, there may be situations like restructuring a debt in getting or giving support, making a plan, or putting debts into a strategy. There may be some situations that look like crises, but it shows that if you proceed without panicking, you can solve these very easily. In other words, there are effects showing that you have the power to easily pull together things that look scattered as long as you don't panic and lose control quickly. There could be much more meaningful developments regarding relationships this week. It could be your spouse, your lover, or your partner. They might want to show you some things in these areas. For instance, you might realize that you have been making too many sacrifices in the relationship. Some of you may see that the other person is actually more sensitive, more fragile, or more indecisive than you thought. You might say, actually, I burdened them too much, but it turns out they are really sensitive, hard inside. In relationships, your inner self will be working intensely. You may have some questions and experiences of awareness regarding your needs, the other person's needs, whether the person in front of you understands you or not, and whether you are putting yourself in the background. Love is not about constantly managing things. Understanding is good, but trying to understand by disregarding yourself can become exhausting in any relationship after a while. Well, this is exactly what you are realizing this week. Regarding your circle, all topics may come back to the agenda here. For example, old friends, old plans, old goals, projects that were talked about but not finished, or started but left halfway. You may receive news from a friend. You might be in contact again with people from the past regarding an environment you were once in. Your future plans may be discussed again, but this week, things around you might not proceed in a straight line. You need to be careful about misunderstandings in communication with some people. Someone's words might feel a bit too emotional to you, for example. Like, I've experienced this before. I've seen this feeling before. I mean, it might touch upon your vulnerability. This week, your friendships are actually acting as a mirror for you. So, who is really by your side? Who sees your efforts? Who is being supportive? There are some nice forms of support, by the way, but that's just as a friend's words can lift your spirits, you might realize. Some friends aren't being open enough with you. In these cases, there might be situations like keeping a bit of distance or withdrawing yourself. When we come to the career side, I can say that career is one of the most active areas of this week. There is an acceleration in your professional life. It could be a meeting, a change, an offer, a task, or responsibility, or an unexpected development that might come to your agenda. For some of you, it could mean being more visible at work. For others, having to defend yourself in the middle of a conversation. And for some, seeing movement in a matter you've been waiting for a long time. Your work status, goals, brand, profession, and standing in front of society are really, really important this week. There is a very fast-flowing energy here. because things can change in an instant. A plan might be revised. Your boss's or manager's attitude might change. It could be a client or a meeting. There might be some differences regarding them. So there are influences here showing that there is a high probability of things changing quickly. You normally like to calculate everything in advance, but this week it might not be easy to control everything 100%. Life is saying to you, make plans, but don't get trapped by them. Staying flexible will be very important. In your professional life, you need to be cautious against anger, rushed work, your own ideas being left in the background, or some people impose their ideas on you. Do not. This week, you need to show your strength. So instead of magnifying crises, it will be important to establish a system and move forward by looking out for your own interests a bit more. Because everyone might be looking according to their own interests and imposing certain things on you. It is very important for you to look out for your own interests here. Now, a piece of news might affect you emotionally here. Some of you might realize that you want to learn more, develop yourselves further, and add more to your CEO Vati will open a different door. Or you might also feel that some things no longer feel as solid as they used to for you. This week, the issue of faith is important for you. I am not just talking about faith in a religious or spiritual sense. I am talking about something related to how much you believe in life, people, relationships, work, and yourself. Because sometimes you look for fault so much that you start to see even your own power as lacking. This week, life is telling you that everything does not have to be perfect. You are ready enough to move forward. Look, what I have seen from my clients, my friends, and directly in my own life is that if you wait for things to be perfect, you will always fall behind in life. Nothing is ever perfect. Good enough actually means it is time for you to hit the road. I mean, like driving a car. You cannot learn to drive perfectly just by sitting where you are. I mean, practice driving on a closed track wherever you want before hitting traffic. You still won't learn enough to be out in that traffic. Of course, you have already received your license. You spent time on those closed roads, you parked, you started, you didn't stall, and all those things. You have done these. After that, you have to get on the road because in that traffic, the reactions and interactions with other drivers are all very important. It is actually through these that we become professionals. Therefore, if there are things you are holding back from doing because they aren't all perfect, whether it is a relationship, a job, a career, or a family matter, whatever it is, you want to start your own business, but you say, let this be, let that be. Do not procrastinate. It is really not worth wasting time trying to make things perfect. Get on your way. Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. Maybe this isn't what you want. You will see that. Try it. You feel like you only live many things in life once. Trying things, being active in your life, and constantly trying to perfect things. Well, I won't say always, but it often leaves a person behind. So you have to accept good enough. And I'm not saying you should jump into something when you know nothing at all. I am saying it is important for you to realize that after you bring things to a certain level, you are ready to move forward, even if it is not perfect. That is actually what I am trying to say. On the health side, you need to pay attention to your nutrition. Mental calmness will be very valuable this week. Actually, this is not just a week where you need to be careful. I can also call it a week of empowerment because you are seeing certain realities more clearly in your work, social circle, financial matters, and relationships. Who are you walking with? Who are you doing business with? You are able to recognize which burden is becoming too much for you and which fear is holding you back unnecessarily. This awareness might feel heavy at first, but in the end, it will really be very good for you. You cannot stay safe by controlling everything. Sometimes confidence comes not from knowing everything, but from trusting yourself. Thank you for listening to me. You would make me very happy if you like the video, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for your support. See you in the next video. Goodbye.